you're part of the law enforcement family, this is your show. Here we talk about all things Leo family life. The good, the bad, the funny and the sad, and everything in between. The Blue Family Unity Show was created, written, and produced by Elsa Kurt. Music written and produced by Dan Tracy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Blue Family Unity. We're doing something a little new here. We are adding a segment. I made an executive decision to add another dimension to the Blue Family Unity show, and that is the headlines. We are going to do, I don't know, I want to do this daily, like 5 days a week. I'm not doing this on the weekends, but I want to do this 5 days a week, bring you, it's going to be like a 30-minute segment, give you the top news stories as they affect law enforcement families and first responder families and patriots and so on. So that's what we're going to do. That's the plan. I made the executive decision. Why? Because I can. It's a one-woman show, guys. I can do whatever the hell I want, basically. If I want to swear my head off, nobody can stop me. It's really, really fun. But we're not doing that today. I don't think I'm going to be swearing my head off. I want you to be able to listen to this in your car when you're driving. And if you have your kids in the car, I don't want to be that guy that makes it so you got to explain some choice words to your kids before you're ready to. So don't worry. I'll keep myself in check for the most part. Maybe if I do swear, this is pre-recorded, so maybe if I do swear, I will bleep it out for you. How about that? That's a nice thing to do, isn't it? But so yeah, we're going to talk about the headlines here, and I'm pulling them off of, I've got like 2 sources here that I like to use. Law Enforcement Today, which, as you know, maybe you don't know, I am a contributor to Law Enforcement Today. I am part of the Law Enforcement Today family. I invite you to join the Law Enforcement Today family, specifically LET Unity. If you don't know what LET Unity is, it is basically the Netflix of the law enforcement first responder community, and you should check it out. There's a lot of VIP perks to being a member, and what else? Oh my god, videos, lots and lots of cool videos, shows, episodes of things that you wouldn't see anywhere else. And we've got some really exciting things about to roll out for you guys as well. It is called Refund the Police. It is a nationwide initiative spearheaded by my people over at Law Enforcement Today, and you get to be a part of this. So details are going to be coming really, really soon, so stay tuned for that. But it's going to be really exciting, and you get to be part of something really special. But in the meantime, right now, we're talking headlines. We're talking about the big things that are going on in the world that you're probably not going to hear on corporate media stations or channels or shows, whatever. So the first one I got for you here today is it's a developing story from Law Enforcement Today. This is from Scott Davis, and this is about police misconduct. So a grand jury declines to indict former NYPD officer in first case under the chokehold ban. So if you remember, after the George Floyd incident, all these cities and states rushed through these knee-jerk legislations to ban, just about anything they could think of to appease the masses, appease the crowd, and banning chokeholds was one of the top things, of course, because of the George Floyd incident, although that wasn't really a chokehold. That was an asshole keeping his knee on a guy for 9 minutes, apparently. Yeah, so let's see. So in Rockaway Beach, New York, a grand jury declined to indict former NYPD officer David Afanandor, who was accused of using an illegal chokehold during an arrest last year in Queens. And they're calling this a victory for law enforcement in a test over the new law criminalizing chokeholds, okay? Let's see. They refused to endure. A 39-year-old Afanador? God, I feel so bad. I'm just destroying this guy's name. I apologize. I'm going to call him Officer David. What a surprise. It was captured on a cell phone. The incident was captured on a cell phone. And we're going to show you that too. We'll take a quick look at that.
All right, I got just stay back. Well, I'm just trying to go. You guys are safe.
And let's see. So this happened in June of 2020, shortly after the death of George Floyd. Let's see. So the New York City prosecutors rushed to file criminal charges against him on June 23rd, claiming that he used an unlawful chokehold. He's the first officer charged under the law, under this new law. Oh boy, he was charged with strangulation and attempted strangulation. Good grief. Let's see. It was just 9 days before that they passed this legislation. Okay, and you saw the you saw the cell phone video, and as is typical of these cell phone videos, I always find it so amazing, and I'm sure you can hear the sarcasm in my voice, but I always find it so amazing that the corporate news media will only show you those critical seconds, you know, what they think are critical seconds in that moment where it looks the absolute worst, right? You don't see what happens before. You don't see the actions and the behavior of the suspect. You don't see what led up to it. You just see that moment. And of course, you know, that's it. Court of public opinion. Guilty as charged. He's the worst human on earth, and, you know, he should be fired. He should be criminally charged based on a, you know, 3-second or 15-second video clip where it's out of context and you have no idea what's going on. You know, so for example, prior to the arrest, police said Bellevue, this is the suspect, threatened officers and reached into a nearby garbage can to pull something out while asking an officer if he was scared. So now we already have threat. We already have threat of force from a suspect. Okay, it's already acknowledged now. According to Bellevue, the suspect, he told the local media that he struggles with mental illness and that the condition has worsened since the incident. So that's everybody's fallback. And I'm not making light of mental illness. So don't get it twisted. I'm not making light of mental illness. I am making sarcasm and contempt at people using the excuse of mental illness every time they get in trouble for breaking the law or doing something wrong, something that they know damn well that they shouldn't be doing. And that's, you know, that's what, well, I'm mentally ill, so, you know, that's why I did it. And however, according to police, Bellevue was arrested twice in the month following the incident. In July of 2020, he was arrested for slashing and attempted robbery of a victim, and another time robbing a 16-year-old girl. But, you know, he has mental illness, so, you know, he should be allowed to do that, right? That seems to be the consensus here. You know, he's got mental illness, so no accountability, none. Okay, so he's proved that he's violent. He's proved that he is willing and able and more than capable of bringing harm to another human being. Of course, when the video of Bellevue's arrest on the boardwalk was released, protesters led by civil rights leader Reverend Kevin McCall called for justice. How about justice for the victims of the people that, he attacked? How about justice for them? No, because whatever happens, this guy is going to be out in 5 minutes, back at doing what he does, which is being a, you know, menace to society. So in addition to this, following up on this now after that, New York City police unions file lawsuit against the city's ban on chokeholds and similar use of force. So police in New York City, they're sick of this shit. They can't do their job. You know, when you have somebody that is attacking you, fighting the police, you know, you're under arrest, you're fighting with police, you're in the moment, and an officer has to basically do whatever he can to control the threat, to stop the threat. So nobody likes the way that looks. You catch these, you know, 30-second, 5-second, 15-second videos of what appears to be a police officer, you know, beating up somebody. It looks bad. Nobody likes to see that. It's hard to watch. It's hard to see. It's upsetting. It's disturbing. And of course, that's what corporate media plans on and plays on your emotions, people's emotions, that, you know, all they're going to see is this moment in time. They don't see what leads up to it. They don't see any of the, you know, causation for it. And the average person who, you know, maybe is either never gotten to a fight in their lifetime, or maybe has just gotten into one physical altercation. I've never been in a physical altercation. I am 49 years old. I've never been in an actual physical altercation. And I'm talking about like punches thrown and, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Nope, never. So I don't, you know, I'm kind of violent, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm pretty, I got a temper. So I wouldn't want to get into a fight. I don't really know what the heck I'm capable of. You know, I feel like I could be pretty scary. I mean, I know I'm 5'3". I got small hands, but you know, you've seen smaller, crazier people do more damage. So I feel like I could do some damage if I had to. I'm not looking to do it, but I'm also not shying away from it either. So, but you know, all I'm saying here is that when you are in a fight for your life, you're going to do what you have to do. So I don't really think that they should be having those restrictions on them. You know, there's obviously cases of excessive use of force. And again, I use the example of David Chauvin kneeling on the back or neck area of George Floyd for 9 minutes. I don't know anybody who can justify that. Um, I haven't yet. I haven't anybody that can justify that part. You can justify the physical force, just not the length of time, and not when he's, you know, from what we saw quite, you know, we saw more than a 30-second video of that eventually. We did see that he was passively resisting. There was a lot of passive resistance, you know, so as far as I know, he was not, you know, he wasn't swinging, punching, kicking, pulling a weapon or any of those things. So it's very hard to understand that one. We're talking about the scope of a, you know, typical, normal, combative suspect who is fighting, who is resisting, and even passively resisting. Passive resistance is pretty powerful. I mean, if you know, make your body go completely limp, if you're a grown-ass man, grown-ass adult, and you passively resist something, you're really hard to manage. I mean, you know, anybody who's ever had a toddler can tell you how hard it is to control passive resistance. They turn into a little octopus. It's insane. But yeah, so there's that. So New York City police, sick and tired of the bullshit. They need to be able to do their jobs. All the police across the country need to be able to do their jobs, and they need to be able to stop people within reason, obviously. You know, it's a given. I mean, it's already a given. That's already a known thing. Let's see what else to say. Wall Street Journal. This is the law signed by de Blasio in July. Made it a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in prison for using a chokehold or chest compression. This came in response to the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis, widely blamed on Minneapolis police officer David Chauvin. Does go on to say, as I was saying, that body camera footage released this week that showed that George Floyd was uncooperative and appeared to be on some type of substance and was complaining about not being able to breathe long before the incident with Chauvin. So yeah, so they are fighting these ridiculous restrictions, which basically tie the hands of police officers. What else we got going on? Let's see. What else is going on in the world, guys? There was another one I was looking at before. It was pretty crazy. Oh, I know. So this is crazy. So this is not actually law enforcement related, but I just read this morning on the Daily Wire. So the headline is DeSantis moves to buy antibody treatments directly from the manufacturer after Biden tightens grip on supply. So I want to swear. I just had to stop myself. So here's what's going on. Joe Biden the president of the United States made the decision to restrict the distribution of monoclonal antibodies to states amid surge in demand by states in the South. States in the South, people who are vocally, loudly, very sharply in contrast with Biden's dictatorship. Interesting, right? So let's see. This is a direct quote from DeSantis. Just last week on September 9th, President Joe Biden said that his administration would be increasing shipments of monoclonal antibodies in September by 50%. Yet on September 3rd, just a few days later, HHS announced that it was seizing control of the monoclonal antibody supply and that it would control distribution. Then on September 14th, the announcement was more than 50% of the monoclonal antibodies that had been used in Florida were going to be reduced. That's from DeSantis. He goes on to say, so this is a dramatic reduction, and I'd say it's doubly problematic because what Shane Strum and folks in Tampa General and these other hospital systems that have been doing this, they're not getting it from the state. So what DeSantis is going to do, because he's a badass boss, he's just going to work directly with the drug company. He's skipping right over Sleepy Joe, Dictator Joe, Tyrant Joe, skipping right over him and going right to the drug company to work it out with them, to get it directly. So the man is a man of action, and I love that. I cannot get to that state fast enough to call it home. But listen, this is insane. I almost dropped the F-bomb. This is insane. So you have the president restricting medicines, drugs, the ability to heal people from the ravages of COVID-19, the virus that you might not even know that you have, the one that you could be vaccinated against and still get and spread. That's one we're talking about, just in case we didn't know. Of course we know. But yeah, he's restricting monoclonal antibodies to these states, particularly states in the South, because they go against him. Doesn't sound like authoritarianism at all. It doesn't sound like a tyrannical government system. Do we start calling each other comrades at some point? I feel like that's what we're supposed to do. We are now comrades, right? Because this is the direction we're going. And if you don't see it, I don't even know what to say right now, to be honest with you. So that's pretty big news. Yes, I know it's not police news, but it's news. Let's see, what else we got? Oh, good Lord. Well, I guess we're kind of falling in line with that here. We're going to check out this one here. So this one, former police chief says that we should pay attention as UN Secretary General hints towards establishment of new world order. God, if that doesn't send a chill up and down your spine, I don't know what will. So let's see. So this is from Law Enforcement Today. If you want to check out the full article for yourself, please do. I highly recommend it because I'm just skimming it for you guys. So I'm missing stuff. I'm missing important information here that, I guarantee I'm missing important information. But so I'm just skimming it. I'm giving you the lowdown. I was just sitting like a child. I was actually sitting cross-legged here, and I had to adjust. So sorry if I just faded out on you. But let's see, United Nations. Here we thought this. I'm reading directly, and here we thought this was all about a little old virus. Think again. This is about control. We've been saying this for a while now. People aren't listening. They are keeping their heads in the sand and their thoughts in fairy tale land or something, because they're not seeing it. And I have proof of this daily in the comment section of my TikTok videos. They are delusional. They think Joe Biden's doing a great job. They think, all of this stuff makes perfect sense to them. It's very scary. But anyhow, it says, let's see, what does it say? Last week, the Associated Press reported that UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned that the world is moving in the wrong direction and faces a pivotal moment unless business as usual is approached differently, warning that maintaining the course could lead to a breakdown of global order and future perpetual crisis. Jesus, that sounds scary. So basically, the sky's falling unless we comply with the United Nations vision, basically, of New World Order. So that's the goal. That's the plan. Scare the shit out of everybody to get them to comply. And guess what? It's been working very, very well, because we have, I don't know, maybe half. Am I underestimating or overestimating? But we're going to go with half. You can correct me. We have like half the population that is living in abject fear of, again, of a virus with what is it? A 0.001% fatality? A virus that you might not even know that you have. It's so deadly, it's so scary, it's so devastating. You could just have it, recover from it, and never even know. So how about that? Let's see. And of course, they bring up climate change. That's their, doomsday call. That's the bell that tolls constantly. Climate change. We're all gonna die. Didn't that little Greta girl tell us we're all gonna be dead in 12 years or something? Oh, Jesus Christ. Seriously? And again, that's not climate change denial. Yes, the climate is changing. Yes, we should be doing those things. We're not going to die in 12 years. The Earth is not going to implode or dissolve into a cloud of noxious gases in 12 years. Let's see. So yeah, so there's a lot of doom and gloom here, a lot of threats and fear. But it's basically according to Patroni. Yeah, I gotta scroll back up and make sure I got his name right, because you really should read this article, because I've kind of massacred it here because my own disbelief keeps taking over, and I just can't even believe what I'm reading. So you really should read it. Go check it out. It's on Law Enforcement Today. It's from Patroni. It's right in the top news. Headline is, former police chief says pay attention as UN Secretary General hints towards establishment of New World Order. This is something we should be aware of and be scared of completely. What else we got for headlines? We're going to grab a couple more for you and then we'll call it. Let's see. This one. Did you guys hear about this one? This one breaks my damn heart. I don't even know if I can read this without. I'll probably cry. You guys are going to have to deal with me crying probably. Widow, you've probably heard about this, but maybe you haven't. So the widow of fallen Marine Riley McCollum gives birth to a baby girl, Levi Riley Rose McCollum. What a great name. This was posted by Jenna Curran. Oceanside, California, Monday, September 13th, the widow of U.S. Marine Lance Corporal Riley McCollum, who was one of the 13 service members killed in a terrorist attack in Kabul, Afghanistan in August, gave birth to a baby girl at Camp Pendleton. I'll show you the picture too. She is just a perfect, beautiful little girl. 8 pounds 10 ounces. Woo! My granddaughter was pretty close. 8 pounds 2 ounces, so pretty close. And in the picture, if you're listening to this, obviously you can't see the picture. If you're watching, of course you can see for yourself. But in the picture that LET was able to get from a tweet, there's a photograph of Lance Corporal Riley McCollum in uniform in the little bassinet, hospital bassinet with the baby, and that's just freaking heartbreaking. Let me just repeat that. 20 years old. 20 years old, died in service of his country for reasons that should not have ever happened because of poor leadership by our president and his advisors. 20-year-old Marine, Jesus Christ. Never got to see his baby. Baby's never going to know his dad. Awful. And of course the family will keep his memory alive for little Levi. But it's not the same, and it's very, very sad. So check out that article. There's a lot more going on there. Some great pictures. You should take a look. And they've got a whole interview here with them, a great video. I'm gonna let you guys take a look at that yourselves. Again, that's on LET, Law Enforcement Today, and that article title is Honor Them. Widow of fallen Marine Riley McCollum gives birth to baby girl Levi Riley Rose McCollum. And let's see, let's do one more. What do you think? One more. What do we got going on in the world? Oh, well, Seattle. You should read that one. I'm not going to read this one, but Seattle City Council rejects proposal plan to recruit and retain police officers as violence explodes. What the? I'm speechless. Can you hear it? I'm speechless. Now we are going to read it because now I'm angry. Now I'm angry. So, Seattle, Washington, on Monday, September 13th, the Seattle City Council voted no on a proposed plan to devote more money to retain officers on the payroll while hiring new ones. The decision comes after the city continues to struggle with crime and redefining the role of armed police officers. They reportedly rejected two plan proposals, at least proposing at least $1 million to officers. No, we don't need any help. We don't need any assistance. We're good. We're good. Just ignore that burning building and that graffiti covered business, and ignore the guy taking a crap in the gutter. Don't pay any attention to that. We're good. We don't need any help. So yeah, so that's pretty awesome, right? Impressive. Go Seattle. I sincerely feel so bad for the people of these places that live in these cities who are just trying to live their lives and do right and, provide for their families. And, I don't know. I mean, I guess if the majority is okay with that, uh, it is what it is. But boy, oh boy, if my husband were a cop there, well, let's just say he wouldn't be a cop there anymore because we'd be the hell out of there. So God bless the ones that are staying and trying like hell to make this work. But it's insane. Absolutely insane. And it's, as usual, it's the make sure they want the police accountable. Well, duh, of course, that should be a given. Everybody knows that. But don't hold anybody else accountable. Don't hold any of these criminal people accountable for their actions. They're somehow victims of what, I don't know, victims of society. That's the takeaway there. It's bananas. We'll certainly talk more about that. Oh, how about this one? I can't believe I almost forgot to give you this one. How about this one here? Have you heard about the Ohio mayor who basically told the school board to resign or be charged? And they were told to resign or be charged over a book. This was a writing prompt book given to students asking them to write pornographic scenes. I kid you not. So let's see, Hudson, Ohio. This is from Gregory Hoyt. In Hudson, Ohio, during a school board meeting earlier in September, the Hudson mayor, among other concerned parents, issued a stern warning to the school board members over a controversial writing prompt book used by students at Hudson High School that has some prompts about writing pornographic fantasies. And again, he told them to resign or face criminal charges. Reason being, the mayor said during the meeting, was that he consulted a local judge that felt as though the contents of the book were essentially what child pornography is in the class, or child pornography in the classroom. Some of the writing prompts, you ask, that was given to these kids in this book. Ready? Write a sex scene you wouldn't show your mom. Rewrite the sex scene from above into one that your mom can read. Describe your favorite part of a man's body using only verbs. And there's a whole bunch more. There was a few other ones. Here's a few. Let's see. Okay, now I'm going to remind you, high school students. So you're talking between the ages of, 14 and 17, typically, right? 14 and 18 maximum, probably. Here's another one. You have just been caught in bed by a jealous spouse. How would you talk your way out of this? Jealous spouse? What the frick? And then there was another one. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. Drink a beer. Write about the taste. Yes, there you go. Encourage minors to drink a beer. I know obviously they're probably drinking a beer anyhow, but I don't think an adult should be giving them books to encourage doing that. 10 euphemisms for sex. Describe a time when you wanted to orgasm but couldn't. There's a bunch more, including write an X-rated Disney scenario. You got to read the other ones. Go over to Law Enforcement Today and you can read the rest of them. And they're, yeah, if it doesn't piss you off, you're clearly not a parent. And again, you don't have to be a parent to be pissed off by this and find this offensive and just deplorable, to say the least. Who's this? Let's see. I'm reading what they said. Oh, okay. So the Hudson High School principal, Brian Wilch, apologized during the board meeting, acknowledging that the book clearly was not properly vetted before being handed off to students. He said, "We did not exercise due diligence when we reviewed this resource. As a result, we overlooked several writing prompts among the 642 that are not appropriate for our high school audience." So, he's trying to weasel his way out of it, basically. Like, well, we read the first writing prompt and figured, yeah, the rest are probably fine. Go for it. Yeah, that's kind of like what he's saying. So we're not, gee, really sorry, but, you can't really blame us. I mean, there were 642 writing prompts. You didn't expect us to read the whole thing ourselves to see what we were giving our students to work with. Come on, that's crazy. Yeah, so I kind of liking this Hudson mayor. He's a tough guy. He might be somebody to keep an eye on because that was a pretty bold proclamation there. Um, Resign or be charged. I like it. And they should be charged. Absolutely. I think they should be charged. I would love to know if you agree or disagree. I think they should be charged. This is your responsibility. You don't get to, not knowing the law does not mean that you are exempt from the consequences of breaking it. I think everybody knows that. Every adult knows it. So you can't say, oh, well, nobody told me that robbing this bank was illegal, so I shouldn't be in trouble for it. No, law's a law. And if you're breaking laws, which would be, in this case, it would be, I guess, distributing pornography or pornographic materials to minors, that's like, that's abuse. That's sexual abuse. That's clearly breaking the law. So yeah, you should be charged. It is your responsibility. People are putting their children's well-being and safety, that's emotional and physical safety, in the hands of these educators for how many hours a day? What is it, 6, 7 hours a day? Is that how long they're in school these days? I don't even know. But anyhow, 5 days a week, you're responsible for the welfare of our children, and you are shirking your responsibility, or worse, worse than ignorance would be knowledge, really. So they're saying they didn't know, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. I gotta be honest with you. If my kids were school-aged with all of this insanity going on, I would pull them. I would homeschool. I would 100% homeschool. I actually technically even wish that I had homeschooled them back in the day. And mind you, my kids are 20, 28, and 24. So we're going back a ways. But I do kind of wish that we had homeschooled. I think they would have got a more rounded education, more balanced education, because this, for as long as I can personally remember, the school systems have always had a very strong, public school systems have had a very strong liberal liberal teaching, liberal mindset, all of that stuff. And I know that from my personal experience, from specific incidents that I remember in high school, growing up, specifically high school. I remember really back from before that. I was a daydreamer, so I was always getting in trouble, but constantly. And by the way, it was ADD. It wasn't that I was a daydreamer. I daydreamed because I had ADD. Just we didn't know that was a thing back then. But that's besides the point. But whatever. Going back to this whole incident in Hudson, Ohio. bravo for those parents, and bravo for that mayor standing up for the children of that school system. And we need more of that. We need that to keep happening. We need more parents involved, being very, very vocal about what's being taught to these children, um, as early as kindergarten. I mean, you've heard the stories of kindergartners being taught about sexuality and sexual choice and freedom and all that. I think it was like a book about being transgender. And I have nothing against transgender people whatsoever. I don't care what you do. Do whatever you want to do. My only requirements are, or my only expectations with that are, is don't expect me to pay for it, whatever it is that you're doing. And I don't know, well, that's technically it. I mean, it's none of my business what you do with yourself. Just don't make it my business. That's all, right? But I really don't care. I say do whatever you got to do. It doesn't matter. I don't really understand it. I don't. It's not that I agree or disagree with it. But again, it doesn't really affect me in any major way. But sexuality, sexual choice should not be taught to kindergartners. As simple as that. There's no reason for it. No reason whatsoever. Not in schools. If parents want to teach their kids about that, fine. Those are their children. They can teach them whatever they see fit, obviously within reason. I mean, we're not going to extremes where anything is abusive or anything like that. But that's not the school's role. School's role, as far as I know, is to teach them their ABCs, teach them how to count. We're talking obviously kindergartners. I hope to God by high school they can do those things. Although, I can tell you I was terrible at math, so I guess I didn't really learn that very well. But yeah, that's the responsibility of the parents. And certainly I would say any parent if you were homeschooling your kid and giving your kids these prompts, I think you should be put in jail too, because that's insane. And I'm sure somebody would want to argue some bullshit points on that, but I wouldn't even entertain that kind of discussion, so whatever. But that's going to be it. Those are our headlines for today. This is our first time doing that, so bear with me. I'm going to prepare better next time. I will have these all lined up for us. This was just, so, if you don't know me by now, I have said this many times that I love to fly by the seat of my pants. I woke up this morning, I kid you not. What's today? Today is September 17th. I am recording this at 10:26 a.m. I started like around 10 o'clock a.m. or maybe 9:45, something like that. And at 7:15, 7:18 this morning, I decided to do this. That, hey, you know what? I think the Blue Family Unity Show needs to have like a daily recap of the current events, of the things that are going on in the law enforcement world. Again, I have not decided, because I just decided this at 7:15 this morning, that I was going to do this. I haven't decided exactly how this is going to go. Will I do this daily? I would like to. 5 days a week. That's the plan. That's what I'm thinking is a good idea. Because obviously news happens every day. New things happen every day. So maybe if I can get these out to you quickly, and you can kind of get these headlines and get the kind of the overview of what's going on in each of these top stories. And if they pique your interest, you can go over and read them, and I'll always cite where I got it from. I can tell you already, most of the stuff I'm going to get is from Law Enforcement Today, from Daily Wire, sources like that. I will check the other ones as well. Oh shit, I'll probably even check CNN just to see what kind of crazy bullshit they're coming up with. But yeah, I'll check those too and see what we come up with. All right, so thanks for listening to the headlines, and we got to come up with a catchy title for this too. What is it going to be? I'm very excited. I'm going to post a little part of this to TikTok, and if you're on TikTok, you should go to that video and comment what you think the name of this Blue Family Unity segment should be called. You can help me pick a name for this. Does that sound good? So yeah, so I'm gonna do all of that right now. We're gonna close out this episode of Blue Family Unity. I don't even know what to call it. Blue Family Unity Headlines? That's what we're calling it today. Blue Family Unity, Blue Family Unity Top Headlines. That's so boring. We're going to fix that. We're going to call it something else. So get over to TikTok and help me pick a name for this segment of the show, okay? In the meantime, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and remember, united we thrive. Take care. Bye.